definitely strip down the radios if I'm not talking to a boss and another boss. Resilience and physical fitness. Physical fitness, I see a trend between people who are physically fit and those who perform. Learn to take a step back and pause in a sort of tactical situation.
How's it going, everyone? Thank you for watching. Now, today's video is going to be a little bit different than our usual. I recently just got done at the range with a very good friend of mine, and as we were shooting and doing some drills, we got to talking. And my friend is active duty. I can't say the unit that he's in, but he's got a lot of experience from a very high up leadership position. So as we got talking, we came back and laid out all of our equipment. And what you're about to watch is going to be essentially an interview and a kit breakdown of what he's running as a active duty leader in the military, what I'm running on the range, more of my tactical sort of equipment, and then obviously some questions that I had for him that I think you guys will appreciate. So with that, it's going to be a lot of B-roll footage and kit laid out, but please watch till the end. There's a lot of great information with this. My mate instills a lot of wisdom that I know you guys are going to appreciate. So thank you and enjoy.
This is specifically built for a direct action role for leaders. Starting with the helmet, I have a high cut with peltors attached. The peltors are good for hearing protection. I also run to my push to talk for comms. I have my eye protection in there. On the helmet, I have a camouflage scrim that, depending on the mission, I will remove if camouflage isn't necessary. And then under that, I'll have my IFF or IR flags. Night vision mount up there, and then a spot to put a battery pack or a counterweight for the night vision. Carrier, this is an AVS without the AVS harness system. Up front, I run 3 mags as a leader. Don't really shoot as much as your rifleman. So I usually just carry 3 mags up front and the rest will be in an assault pack. Have my case for my end user device, like an ATAC. And I run 2 push-to-talks because I generally run 2 radios. And those lead to my 2 radio pouches, which I run inside the cummerbund. Down low, I have my first tourniquet pouch, and then I have 2 admin pouches. And the one on the right, I have a strobe and a notebook. The one on the left, I have a VS17 panel and an extra headlamp and a lighter with duct tape. Up top, I normally keep cards for bump cards for doing any air assault operations, and that'll have all of my sensitive items and serial numbers listed on it. Moving down to the cummerbunds, on the inside, I have my side armor. I have a pouch for night vision. On the right side, I have another tourniquet and a water bottle pouch. I normally just run smart water bottles because it integrates with a Sawyer squeeze filter. I have both antennas routed to the rear of the plate carrier so that they're out of the way. And then I have a pouch for a conformal battery that will charge the radio and the end user device during operations. And then I have a Roll 1 style IFAC in the small of my back on the carrier. For the belt, going from right to left, I have a Safariland holster for an M17 type handgun. For urban operations, I have a bunch of mini chem lights and then a extra rubber band. Keeps them all together, and it's also good for if you need to rubber band something, you never know. On the left side, I have a dump pouch. I usually keep it stowed because I'm not shooting that much in my current role, but I'll put water in there, put random stuff or magazines. And then all the way on the left, I have pouches for 2 M17 magazines and 1 M4 mag.
So how would this change if you were a civilian?
If I was a civilian or I was not focused on a direct action role, I would definitely strip down the radios if I'm not talking to a boss and another boss. So radios would go. And with that, the antennas would go. Wouldn't need a conformal battery pack. And depending on what I'm expecting to encounter, the side armor might also go. End user device as well. If I'm not a part of a team that is running the ATAC, then I have no reason to be running ATAC on my kit. I'll start with what I like. For what I'm doing right now for work, I'm usually wearing my body armor all the time. So all my stuff is with me, my night vision, water, mags, and then the ability to communicate with the rest of my unit as well as my higher commander. What I dislike, being that comms is such a big deal, comms adds a lot of complexity with cables and antennas, and it really doesn't allow you to perfectly streamline your kit. 3 mags up front, 1 mag in the belt, and then 1 mag in the rifle. Any extra mags I have will go in an assault pack or my dump pouch. And I'm usually ready to hand those off to our shooters on the front that are actually using it. Just because, as I've said, as a leader, I don't shoot that much.
Okay, and what type of rifle are you running?
M4.
M4, what type of attachments? Optics?
Well, that's what's ever issued. For me, got a PEC 15 up front, an ACOG, regular standard issue stock. My advice for someone who's trying to set up their kit is let your experience training and what you're doing on a day-to-day set up your kit. Don't try to copy somebody else's kit and then try to make it work for you. Start using your kit and it will build itself. Let your kit build itself.
Alright, so I'll do a rundown of my equipment. Start over here with the headgear. So this is a hard-headed veterans. I think it's 18 ballistic helmet. Served me well. I do want to change out the chin strap though. No comms on it. Something I just haven't made that investment in. And Princeton Tech right here. This is a red and white one. On the back, just some IDs. Cat's eyes, counterweight for the night vision. This is G24 by Wilcox. And then the helmet cover, I love this one. This is by Agilite. So there you go, that's the helmet. Coming down to the body armor, we'll come over to the front here. So on the front, I'm a big fan of modularity and kind of decking it out for how the mission or whatever I'm doing requires. So I've got my Mayflower Mark IV on the front with the clips. That makes it detachable. The clips on the side here, I've ran underneath my pouches. It just keeps it nice and tidy and out of the way. And what that means is that these can clip in, but if I don't have anyone to do that, the Velcro can still do that job as well to secure that plate carrier and dawn it on quickly. The plate carrier's a HRT H-rack. I'm a big fan of it. Opted to go with the one without the extra buckle, just personal preference. Carabiner ID patch. Let's go ahead and break down the front. So I've got 4 mags, which are fully loaded, P mags. On the side, I've got 2 more, which are metal magazines. These are Duramags. The idea behind that is if these break or crack, the metal ones are kind of more durable. If something bends, you can bend it back into shape. Fixed blade knife, this is a Griffin knife one. Absolutely love this thing. Yeah, Griffin knife VG10. Coming around the front of here, I have like a mini survival kit and medical kit. So boo-boo kit, just antiseptic, band-aids, small bandages. And this is kind of like a happy days kit. So it's got water purification tablets, gum, towelette, pre-workout, hydration sticks, matches. Kind of like, you know, mini, I don't want to call it a survival kit, but it's kind of like if you only have this, it could, you know, get you out of shit. So up front, I got 2 mags, just standard Glock mags. Coming across again, mini sustainment pouch, so I've got a compass. Inside the pouch, protein bar. And then peanut butter, and then hearing protection. Coming across here, I've got like a general purpose pouch, so I've got a marker. This thing's awesome, so these are mechanic screwdriver, it's a magnet, and this is just an awesome all-round general use tool. Every time I go to the range or do something, I'm always using this. And then just 2 Kev mics packed away. As a civilian, I mean, these are mostly just for lighting stuff. We're not going to use them as much as the military chaps. Coming across here, I've got a water bottle, just taped up so it doesn't snap or leak. After this, I've got more water, so this is part of my body armor. Remember, because this detaches, there might be multiples of stuff, but just a military canteen. And then I've got a double mag pouch here, which I keep empty, and that goes underneath where my water bottle will sit. That way, if I want to carry extra mags or a radio, it's already there and ready. Coming across this side, I've got my medical kit. So this is the British Army Virtus one, and this is like a big boo-boo kit. Everything you need. Bandages, quick clot markers, gloves, antibacterial, emergency blanket, ABD pads, chest seals. Actually, I'll mention this. So in the plate carrier, I've done something quite cheeky. So down in this compartment, I actually have a notepad with a pencil ready to go. And then I actually keep an ABD pad and a dressing, as well as, yeah, so I kind of keep those right there, just some admin stuff and then some more medical. There was nowhere really to keep these big flat panels of medical anywhere, so decided to just slide them right in there. That way I've got the boo-boo kit and then something to stop some sort of bleeding on my person. And then obviously the plate carrier being a direct action role thing, or you're expecting to take rounds, I like to have a very serious medical kit. Right, so moving down to my belt now, we'll start over here. It's a Blue Force gear, I can't remember the name, I'll put it in the video. But awesome belt, had it for a few years now. Gloves are just 511 gloves with a carabiner hanger, Fireland holster, Glock 19, tourniquet, water bottle pouch. I'm a big proponent of carrying water, or just a GP pouch. I like to keep on my gear at all times 2 pouches that are empty. That way, if I got to pick up equipment, it's just, you know, you've got the extra room ready to go. I've never been a fan of dump pouches, so I just like to have the pre-established pouches. Coming over to my med kit, so this one's quite interesting. So this is kind of like a general use kit, the idea being that the belt can be run on its own. But in here we've got trauma dressing, marker. I'll go through this, but now we've got all of our chest seals, more dressings, more snacks. Then in this little pouch, almost similar to my setup on my chest rig, I've got a lighter with duct tape, some backup hearing protection, a little chapstick, more hydration packs, chem light, hydration sticks, poison ivy treatment is a big one, just some backup hearing pro, pencil, Swiss Army knife, pen, my hands chap up, so just some cream, water purification tablets, more hydration sticks, and just some power cord for general purpose use. So yeah, that's the accessory pack, quite a lot. Some would consider it overpacking, but I'd much rather have all these little items, and a lot of it is just comfort and peace of mind. But I find myself using it, and it's always these little items that you wish you had that make, you know, the difference. So go ahead and rate my gear. Rate my trip.
So for the purpose of a civilian, I like what you have up here with a chest rig that can be detached if you're not always using your body armor. If you're gonna do that, I would find a way to keep your medical kit off your body armor. It looks like you do. You have a medical kit on your belt, and that's something that I'm assuming would stay with you all the time. So it's scalable. That's a plus, that you can go from having full body armor to having just chest rig and belt. For the helmet, I recommend getting some sort of over-the-ear protection. That's how you really get the full benefit of having a high-cut helmet. Otherwise, you may as well have a Mitch helmet, I guess. For mag count, this is more what you'd see for direct action, the classic 7 or more mags, it looks like, which I would expect that out of a rifleman or a guy on the line. Not sure about civilian use, but even if you weren't running that many mags, I would maintain the ability to carry that many mags if you had to. Tourniquet on the belt, that's good. I think I'm used to carrying more than one tourniquet, but I think in a civilian role, that's fine. It's a good kit. Like I'd give it a 7 or 8. Like it's a good kit. It just depends on what you're doing. Like if you were like a rifleman, and you know you were in my platoon just a rifleman, I would even say 10, because you've got medical kit, enough mags to run through you know, an extended firefight, relatively extended. I would only say add another tourniquet if you were like a rifleman. Maybe another 2 tourniquets.
Do civilians need night vision?
If you have the money for it, by all means, go for it. But it's kind of hard sometimes to justify the cost of night vision for civilians if you're not actively seeking a fight. However, it's a pretty nifty thing to have if you're doing any sort of movement through the woods at night. So I'd say if you're financially stable and you want night vision, PVS 14s are a pretty good option. Go for a walk at night with your nods. See what bothers you, figure out how to focus it. Generally, you want to focus it for like the stars as far as possible. Just look up in the sky and turn the dial until the stars are clear. That's generally what works best. And then yeah, go for a walk. Get used to walking under night vision, because it's different, and it kind of your first time is going to be weird. And then after that, you'll be a little bit more comfortable. If you live in the wilderness, you can go ahead and try to drive your vehicle under nods. Definitely want to cover up any sort of light sources in that vehicle, whether that be all the stuff on your dash, anything that glows. Cover that up with tape or cardboard, because that's going to blind you while you're driving. But if you can do those things, then you'll be pretty comfortable working under night vision.
Okay. If you had to carry more water or ammo, what would you choose?
If
you didn't know there's a resupply.
If I know there's no resupply, I'm going to carry more water.
Okay. Why?
At least, well, water's life. Water's life. I'm not saying I'm going to carry a ridiculous amount of water, but I'd carry more than one water bottle's worth. Usually in a rucksack or an assault pack, I'll have more water. And if I'm relatively close to it, whether the ruck or the assault pack's in like a ORP, like an objective rally point, then more ammo on the objective is always preferred. But if I have to be with just this kit, the kit that you're seeing here, for an extended period of time, and I don't know when the next resupply is, I would carry more water.
Any advice for guys that are looking to start working as a team?
Well, first is find your team and learn how to communicate, because you can all be the best shooters in the world, but if you can't communicate and nobody knows, the left hand doesn't know what the right hand's doing, and the index finger doesn't know what the pinky's doing, it's going to be useless. You're just going to be a bunch of bros shooting. That's all it is.
Any advice for leaders, or say you've got a squad of 4 guys, a guy's leading, what advice would you have for those who are taking charge and taking that leadership role?
Learn to take a step back and pause in a sort of tactical situation. As much as you will want to get in the fight, and sometimes you should, but sometimes you have to look back or step back, look around, see what's going on. That'll allow you to make the best decision in the moment. And then be able to communicate concisely to your boss.
When it comes to communication, when rounds start flying, in that small team aspect, what are some good ways and bad ways that you can communicate and stay coherent with each other?
So for radio communication, if you were planning on using a hand mic or anything other than a headset, it's going to be pretty tough if you're close to gunfire. For your communication with the team, let's say not everyone has a radio, SOPs become pretty important, hand and arm signals, and then also just knowing how they operate. You know that if somebody is in the prone and engaging, that they are ready to cover you, so that's your turn to move. That is just kind of an example of non-verbal, non-hand and arm signal, but it's still a type of communication that you can have within a team. If a team leader takes one of his guys and bounds forward while the other 2 are firing, that is usually means those other 2 need to start covering. And then once they're in place and shooting, those other 2, it's their turn to move while the others cover. That's just an example of communication that you can have while there's rounds flying. For patrols, hand and arm signals are pretty important. Communication via radio is valuable, but you should be careful with that, depending on what adversaries you may be going against. Direction finding technology has progressed a lot, and if you're not running secure comms, you're going to make yourself a bigger target than if you're just using hand and arm signals.
So would you say for a smaller team, back to basics is better and not rely on technology? Things like ATACs and...
Back to the basics is better for everybody, I would say, no matter how big or small your team is. You should always be able to do the basics.
Thoughts on drones and how that's changing modern warfare?
Well, drones are scary, but they're not going anywhere. They're here to stay, and we've got to learn how to use them and protect ourselves from them. So if you got anybody who's tech savvy in your friend group, you should probably start cross-training on the use of any sort of UAS.
So as a unit leader, what are some features and traits that are reminiscent or universal in a good performing, reliable soldier?
Resilience and physical fitness. Physical fitness, I see a trend between people who are physically fit and those who perform better. Those who care and do their own self-study, they tend to perform a lot better.
So as a leader, if you have somebody who's not pulling their weight, who's slacking, it isn't contributing to the team or even bringing the team down, how do you recommend that people deal with somebody like that within their team or squad?
So hopefully, if you have somebody who's lacking, or we'll say a liability, hopefully you've identified that before you're actually in an operational environment, so in training. And if you are about to go into that operational environment, then you should put all your effort into trying to train them, talk to them, get them to the level that they need to be. But if you're about to go to the Super Bowl and they're not playing, sometimes you just can't have them on your team. It's not necessarily an option that the military always has, but in your own peer group, friend group, community, that is an option that you maintain. And if you are that guy, you should test yourself, see what you're not performing well at, and you should be trying to get better, because no one wants to be that guy that nobody wants on the team. So that's where self-study and physical fitness in some cases comes in.
Well, there you have it, guys. Some very, very good knowledge from a close mate of mine. Guys, I hope you enjoyed that. As always, thank you for your time. Thank you for watching. If you have any comments of what you guys want to see, please put them in the comment section below. Lots to come, lots more people coming on the channel. It's going to be a very exciting next couple of months. So thank you for supporting what we do here. Guys, I appreciate everything. Instagram is more of the day-to-day stuff. That's echomike_training. Again, I really appreciate what you're doing. Give your opinions on the equipment. I know gear videos are fun and exciting, so it'll be interesting to hear what you guys are running and if any of this stuff changed your perspective. Just like anything, we're trying to learn off of each other. So I'll see you guys on the next one.